As Dr. Kang said, this is shameful to have this conversation today. It's 2012 and we shouldn't be having this conversation. I'm a 16-year-old boy and I know this is not right and this is not okay. This has been going on for years. My graduated siblings were complaining about racism in their school. And now we're here and we're still experiencing this. This is not okay, it's not right. We're not just fighting for ourselves, we're fighting for our younger siblings who will eventually come here one day. We want their learning environment to be racism free. That's not much to ask, is it? And shame on you, Superintendent Jeanne Collins and Ms. Malikan. I thought you were better than that. We would also appreciate it if there were more colored teachers in this school. One day I walked in my class and there was a black sub. I immediately smiled. I was like, oh my gosh. Because we never have any black. We have like 3 or 4 teachers that are colored that teach in the classrooms. We also would appreciate it if people will stop, the school and the media stop blaming our supporters for putting words in our mouths, because that's like saying we're stupid, we can't stand up for ourselves, we can't speak for ourselves. We also hate it when people say, you guys are really well spoken, because what do you expect of us? To be dumb? Please make this serious.
Thank you. Kyle Dawson.
So, I have lots of conversations with lots of you here and lots of you out here, and I came here tonight not clear what I would say, if I would say something, and now the proceedings have made it very clear what I'd like to say. I've said it before, and the thing that strikes me most about all of this is that nature abhors a vacuum. And what I mean by that is, in the absence of clarity, in the absence of unequivocal vision about what we need to do, where we need to go, and what's expected, all of us as human beings fill our own stuff in. And that's what I see happening. And it was brought most to a head for me because Dr. Ken Palm is a good friend of mine. I know him primarily outside of this context. I trust that perhaps some of you are his clients. He's a very respected businessman in this community, and he's a beloved gentleman in this community. And to see that what has happened has moved him to come through here, and you would think the Black Panthers are back, as well they should be. And that that what he sees as an absence caused him to show up in that guise, which is not the person you see all the time, is a problem. That he, as he said, he's a 60-year-old man, he's experienced a great deal. So I can only imagine this touches a raw chord, as it does for many people. And when people are coming and spilling their guts in that way, something is going on. And that needs to be addressed. That vacuum that we have in the community is causing problems. And it's the other side. I was at a prior board meeting, and after the board meeting, a BHS teacher came up to speak to me. And I was really moved by that, because I think that was difficult. I didn't know that teacher, and she was sort of crossing the divide. She was uncomfortable with the quality of the conversation. And she felt the need to reach across that chasm and connect humanly and quite frankly say, I get that things are going on. I don't think she liked the way that she was being represented as a teacher. She wanted to connect with me personally, at least, and come to me and say, I know that our kids are struggling. I want to do more. And I think that she was hurt by that vacuum as well. I think that lots of people in our community are looking and saying, where are we going? Who's going to take us there? And it's hard work, but it's doable, right? There are lots of examples around the nation throughout history where a leader steps in and understands what's needed and does the hard work. And that's just the long and short of it. And so what I most want is, I'm just saying to the board, demand that. Wherever it comes from, doesn't matter. You know, I'm not saying who is or isn't going to do it, But to me, it is crystal clear that we need it. Our community is being torn asunder. This is canary in the coal mine. This is the entering wedge. It's not going to get better automatically. What you're seeing tonight, if you don't like this, if you don't want to be part of a community where people feel like they have to, speak out like this and spill their guts on the ground, then let's do something, because it's not going to just get better on its own. That's not what's going to happen. I'm pretty certain of that. Something is going to have to intervene and to have people feel confident and trust that we're going to move in the right direction. For all of us, not for one particular group of stakeholders, but to move forward in a way that works for all of us. And until we have that, we'll have more of this. And we're spending more time on this than helping children read, helping children compute, helping children learn other languages. I wish I could calculate the time spent on the task force report. It is staggering. Staggering. I know that most of us did not spend that much time reading to a young person as we spent talking about this darn report. We've got to change that. We need someone to lead us out of that conversation into a much better conversation. That's all.
Sorry.
Can somebody please tell me who Jeanne Collins is around here? Okay. I'm sitting here thinking about the many things I've been through. I talk to teachers about the stuff that's been going on around school, but they haven't been listening much. And then after we did the protest, they started, to act like they still care. But I don't see the big step they're taking right now. I mean, we've been talking about it for days, weeks, almost months now, and no progress has shown up. I have cousins and a lot of best friends coming to the school next year, and I don't want them to be in the same footstep I'm in right now. I'm in the same footstep that my uncle was in when he was in the school 4 years ago, and nothing has changed. You guys expect that change is going to happen quickly. And I know it takes time, but how much longer do you guys need? How much longer? It's true, we need to take baby steps, but we're gonna have to move faster because this is not getting us anywhere. We're here, talking, thinking, it's just not gonna help, You're sitting here probably taking notes, who knows? And when you tell a person to wrap it up, this is how it makes me feel like. You take their ideas, put them behind you, throw them in the trash, and then tell them it's time to wrap it up so you can hear the next idea that'll make you feel better. And I'm here because I'm not proud of it, I've been in the school for 2 years. I asked the teacher once, actually she asked me, are you going to college? Me and my best friends were up there together. But my best friend was like, she's not going to college because she's gonna get married. That's what she said. But before I can even say, I'm going to college, she's like, I suspect you're gonna do the same thing since all your tribe end up getting married anyways. I'm disappointed. A student came up to me during lunch and called me the N-word. When I told the teacher, she didn't do nothing. But then when I went up to him, called him white trash, I was suspended from the school for 3 days. How is that fair? This school is not being fair. Things need to change, They support gay and everything, and we support it too. We're not gonna lie. We're taking big changes around here. People have been hurting each other and we care. But they don't care enough to notice the racism and they're just avoiding it. I don't want my brothers and sisters to end up in the same shoes as I am right now. I don't want my uncle to look back and say my little niece faced the same thing over and over again. I want the school to take a step. Now, Ms. Jeanne Collins, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do to secure me that I'm gonna get a better education? That I'm gonna be here safe? What are you gonna do sitting there, listening to me right now? What are you personally gonna do? I'm just wondering, what are you gonna do? Huh? We're all here discussing about it. Tell me what you're gonna do. Tell me the step you're gonna take. Tell me what the teachers are gonna do. Tell me what's gonna happen amongst the students. Last year they had a meeting. Don't tell me to wrap it up. How would you like it if I tell you? How would you like it if I wrapped you up in a corner right there and let you sit in there acting like you are a nobody? How would you like if I stepped on you? Act all racist to you? How would you like it?
I wasn't
you
going
would
to ask
feel.
you to wrap it up. I was going to interrupt you for a moment and just remind you that this is not an exchange. This is, we listen to you and we don't throw the ideas away, okay? We're
Yeah,
just going to listen tonight.
Okay, so
Thank you.
you're gonna listen, right? If you're gonna listen, do me a favor, make every student feel like they're in school and being treated equally. Like, make every student feel like they are being respected amongst the students' body. Make them feel like they are home. Make them feel like the teachers are what they can depend on. Because I don't think they have a lot of support at home and they need support in school. And if a teacher keeps putting you down, it's not gonna do anything, you know? So just make sure that students are getting what they needed. And I'm speaking out for all the students. I'm not just speaking out for myself. I know I'm going through it. Oh, yeah.
It's unfortunate that we sit here today in this situation, because I think we really do need leaders to be very strong and be transformational in their approach. Those are the type of leaders that we have to have at all levels. Leadership needs to burn with passion around this issue. They have to be passionate, and they have to have charisma, and they have to have a vision and set the tone. Now you're asking us to trust, and the problem I have with trust is that the words don't match the music. We're kind of in a dance, if you will. But when I hear, you know, we're going to waltz through this situation together, I look at the song, the music that's playing, I look at the words that are being sung, and they don't match. When we look at downsizing the Office of Equity and Diversity, moving staff out, when we look at not maintaining a wonderful teacher in Mr. Jackson, and when we look at how we brought in a diverse and otherwise, I presume, qualified principal in Trevor Christopher, in that he went through a hiring process and was screened, and we're ushering him out of here in 1 year. And it's also sad that he's leaving, and I understand he's leaving without any type of severance. And how are we going to set a tone for other people coming into the district if we're going to treat someone that way? I just think that we really need to rethink that. And I think the board needs to actually take a moral stand in those types of areas. Thank you.
Deb Ellis.
I'm Deb Ellis. I am a parent of a student who graduated 4 years ago. And I graduated from this school, and the one voice that I have heard less of than others is that of parents. And I personally think that that's because parents get beaten down as much as the kids do, trying to struggle with them through the school system. I'm the parent of a mixed-race child, and I simply want to share our 4 most memorable experiences here in this school. In 2nd grade, my son was told by a teacher that black people were better off economically as slaves than not. In 4th grade, his 2 friends were referred to as niggers by the crossing guard. In 6th grade, he was told he looked like a gang member by a teacher when we were on a school trip to Boston. And here in this school, he was told by a teacher that that teacher knew what happens to kids like my son. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak before we are finished with listening to all the public comments? Sherwood?
I didn't get on the list because I didn't really intend to speak. My name is Sherwood Smith. Try to say 5 things and be very brief. 1, I really do appreciate the effort that the board, the teachers, and everybody puts in. We don't pay teachers enough for what they do. We don't get nearly enough respect for the challenges they face every day. And we don't pay most of you sitting around here anything as a board member. And I've been here when you've been here at 11 o'clock at night. And I know you've got families like I do. So it's not that I think you don't want to do the right thing, and not that I don't think you care. But the reality is that we're in an impasse of intent versus outcome. And people with power and privilege, whether it's male privilege, heterosexual privilege, able-bodied privilege, worry about intent. What I meant to do. The people at the other end, at the receiving end, deal with outcome. And what you've heard all night is outcome. Second of all, I want to make a distinction between scapegoating and accountability. I've continued to ask the board to be the body that holds people accountable. I don't know your job. Someday maybe I will take the big step to be in one of your seats. I'm simply asking that you set the standards, that you see that they're met, that you document whether they are or not, and that you get involved, as they said, whether it's talking to students, parents, to know whether they're met, not to take information from the people you're assessing. Third, it is deplorable to me, as a parent of a child in the school system, to see on TV kids having to stand outside and demand their rights from a school system. To have white students in the school tell them that they need to go back to where they came from. Because unless you're sitting in this room in your Abenaki, we all need to go back to where we came from. I'm going to repeat what everybody else has said. I've only been here 15 years. But I've sat in this room and heard John Tucker. I've sat in this room and heard Larry McCory. I've been to Montpelier and watched the reports done by the Civil Rights Commission, and I can give you all green copies if you want, because I still got some from them. We're having the same conversation. And we're having that conversation because, in my opinion, the district has been moving at an unbelievably slow pace to do these things because the work's uncomfortable, it makes people nervous, and because unfortunately in our society, white people do not have the experience of talking about race enough to be comfortable doing it. Not that we agree, not anything else. And one of the ways that it shows up most painfully is when people say something and people are silent. I'm not worried about the people that are outspokenly bigoted. I'm worried about, and I'm worried often when I do it in other ways, when I don't say anything. And leadership means having to have voice for people who otherwise might not. The last thing I would ask, and I would beg of you, and I know you don't have a lot of time, but take time to sit down, as everyone else has said, with the students. All right? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, all of you, for your comments. Can you tell us your name?
Sophia Haji. Okay, so the whole point of ESL for immigrants is for English, right? Then why do we have ESL Math, ESL Science, and ESL Social Studies? I know students who graduated with an ESL study but can't get into college. And tell me what's diverse when you can't even take an advantage of it. Our school may look diverse from an outsider's point of view, but inside the school, our classrooms, lunchrooms are even more segregated than ever. Also, we would appreciate if you change the ELL system because it's not working anymore. We have some ESL graduates who can't even read their own math. Their parents have to come to a middle schooler and tell them to read that because their student can't read anything. And it's all because they've been in ESL for all their 40 years of high school. They've never been pushed up to go to a higher level by their ESL teacher. So we would just appreciate it if you guys change that and actually try to make change happen.